Hello everybody, I'm Roadblock. This is a Raid Shadow Legends video. We are back on the Ninja account today. This may feel kind of like a 2 episode in the same day type of deal. That's not intentional. I kind of got an inspiration to record a video. And previously I've been recording them very late at night, so you probably don't see it until the morning if you're, in the US, and then this one's going to come out like late um Tuesday, so it may feel like 2 episodes, but either way, it's I just really had some inspiration. I wanted to talk to you guys. Now you can't really see because I'm kind of in the way, but behind me is the mission that I completed, and I wanted to talk about that mission because I learned some stuff. And I know that, by the way, I love all of the comments. I'm glad to be helping everybody. Again, like I said, send these videos to members of your clan, spread them in your discords, spread them in your clan chat. Like the videos, keep commenting on the videos. They are really going to help get more eyeballs on this content, because that's what I'm all about. I just want to help teach people, help people learn, but I can also learn. Now, I'm not an expert. I haven't been playing this game for 6 years. I've only been playing it for like maybe 3 years soon, something in that range. So I'm not like, a pro, and I'm not a big whale. So PvP isn't my big strong suit or anything. But I feel like, as I've said before, I just feel like I'm able to approach things from a perspective that may be more in line with what most new players will have. So, also check out the live streams, 9:30 Eastern. I won't be streaming Wednesday or Thursday this week, so I will be streaming tomorrow, which is Tuesday. You may be seeing this video on a Tuesday. That stream is 9:30 a.m. Eastern time if you want to come hang out. People are asking me live questions. I'm giving live responses to the best of my ability. There was a lot of chat today, but what I wanted to talk about today is this particular dungeon mission. This is related to the Spirit Keep. And I was wasting energy on this. I couldn't quite figure it out. So what I was doing in the Spirit Keep is I was using RSL Helper, and I was saying, hey, keep doing this dungeon until I get 5 of the greater spirit potions. But I was doing it on the highest difficulty I was able to clear, thinking that this had a higher chance of greater potions. But there's a website that some of you may be familiar with, but if you're not, it's Ayumi Love, Ayumilove. It's pretty easy to find. If you just type in Raid Shadow Legends drop rates into Google, you'll find their listing of their drop rates right there. And then when you click on an individual one, it will bring up a larger version of it. So we can come in here, and you can see the stages are up here at the top. I'm going to make sure I'm not blocking anything with my camera. I'm not. I'm actually perfectly placed because there is nothing behind me. So it tells you the stages up here, and then it tells you the drop rates. So for greater potions, you would think that the drop rate would kind of go up, but it actually peaks at stage 7 and goes down on stage 9. So I didn't know that. So I spent a lot of energy farming on stage 9, wasn't getting the drop rates, wasn't getting the greater that I wanted. So then I said, oh, okay, well, I'm obviously something's wrong. So I pulled up this table and I saw, oh, I should farm on stage 7. I want to get these graders for this mission. So let's go farm on stage 7. And there are more than just this loot table. Again, like, there's a drop rate for clan boss here. Now this one is quite large, so I don't know how well it's going to show up on camera here, but you can see these are all the different chests. And somebody asked me today about, is it better to progress to like get the 3rd chest in hard versus, or like the I don't know, 4th chest in 3rd chest in normal or whatever. But it's important to note there's a lot of overlap here, right? So the 3rd chest, and I talked about this already, but this kind of gives you a better visualization of that overlap. Now, there is no overlap between Nightmare and Ultra Nightmare. You'll see it kind of branches out, and then these all have their own individual chances, with Ultimate having a Sacred and Transcendent having its chance at a Sacred as well as Legendary Tomes. So these are all the breakdowns of everything that you could possibly get. Really fun stuff to look at if you're into that kind of thing, but at the very least, you want to know the drop rates of the stuff you're trying to get. Because if you're like me and you're just trying to knock out that mission quickly so you can go back to leveling your champions, you're going to want to farm it on the stage that is the most impactful to you and what you're trying to get. So that mission is done. I've already done this mission, and now we have to ascend a champion to level 5 of Ascension. This is kind of tricky. I do not currently have the resources to ascend Ninja to rank 5. In fact, I'm extremely low on the necessary resources, and I'm not even going to get close to getting him to rank 5 anytime soon. I need 15 of these guys. That means I need 150 of these and hopefully get a little bit lucky with the superiors. So I'm not necessarily, this is, by the way, again, why I say Kale is your better starter. So I'm not really going to bother doing this, but what I am going to do, and I did look through my roster, and I checked and said, okay, do I have anybody in here that is keepable? Like, who in my roster am I good? That's 5 stars, am I, or close to 5 stars that I would really keep. You could make an argument for Valerie. Valerie might make the cut as a buff extender and a mini cleanser, but I'm not super like attached to Valerie here. So what I've decided to do is just, we're going to go ahead and rank up War Priest because she's going to be food. Now, as you can see, I don't have food ready to go. So I do have some stuff leveled, but not enough. So I need to go back and level up a bunch of 2 stars, then get War Priest leveled up. And I'm sure you're saying, well, why War Priest? What about, why not do Broodlord, or I already explained why not Ninja. I'm doing War Priest because she's already about to be 5. No other champion is ready to rank up to 5, and since I have to hit 5, it would make more sense. Now, Broodlord is already 5. Why not do Broodlord? He requires way more, and this is what I'm talking about. If you look at War Priest, I already have what I need to get her to 4-star. 5 stars, not that big of a jump, but it costs more to rank up epics than it does rares. In a perfect world, I'd have an uncommon. I'd have an Armiger, which would be a reasonable target to rank up, but I don't want to go through the process of leveling Armiger up to 3-star, then up to 4-star, then up to 5-star, when War Priest is kind of ready. War Priest will be fed. This is a waste of resources. I am going to admit that. But completing these missions will speed things along much quicker for me because I'm getting so many more resources along the way. I do want to bring a couple of things to y'all's attention as well. You will notice that my gem count is a little bit low. I have been spending some gems in certain areas. There will be good rewards later on that are going to give me gems to make up my losses in the missions. So right now I'm just trying to force my way through the missions. And again, the reason I am willing to exert a lot of resources right now is because these keeps are all open right now, right? If I don't get this done in two more days, then that void keep will be closed until Sunday. So I really want to get these keep missions done as soon as possible before they lock out, and then I have to do them on their rotation. Now, for those of you that are new players, you may not know this, so you can see that all the keeps are open for 1 day, 23 hours, and then they are going to fall into the existing rotation. I don't know what that rotation is exactly. I do know that Void Keep is on Sunday. The Arcane Keep is always open, but the Void Keep is only on Sundays, and then these rotate on all the other days. So, like, I don't know the exact ones, but Monday will be Magic Keep, Tuesday will be Force Keep, Wednesday will be Spirit Keep, and then so on and so forth. And then you get the Void Keep every Sunday and Sunday only. Now, I know there are going to be missions later on that are wanting me to get the superior potions from specifically from the keep and not crafting them. Um, when I get to those, when I get to a mission that I just can't do, that's when I shift my focus and say, okay, we're gonna level, we're gonna grind, we're gonna push, we're gonna do those things. Um, so yeah, a couple of other things that I'm doing. I think I mentioned this yesterday, but just in case I didn't, I am pushing. I want to win this Classic Arena takedown. Now, my score isn't anything like super crazy high, but it is much higher than my competition. I really want to get this 6-star, 6 pieces of this 6-star epic gear just because it's 6 stars. Now, if you haven't already noticed, if you look at gear in the game, the star rating impacts the base stats and how high those base stats can be. So my 4-star boots here are speed 35. I think the only other speed boots I have are 4 or 5 star, but they include equipped here. So these speed boots can upgrade all the way to 40. Now, the biggest bonus is in the back end, and of course, the back end, the later stages, is when you're going to have the hardest time leveling because your upgrade chance goes way down, and that's where you end up spending millions of silver upgrading one piece. It's not fun. It's the way the game is built. Not ideal, but that's just the way that it is. So you want to make sure that you're getting access to that 6-star gear, because if you get a top piece, another quick lesson here, the top pieces, they can only main stat one type of stat. Shields will only be flat defense in the main stat. Helmets will only be flat HP in the main stat, and weapons will only be flat attack in the main stat. But on your chest pieces and your gloves and your boots, they can roll differently. Gloves can be crit rate, crit damage, HP percentage, defense percentage, attack percentage, or flat attack, defense, and HP. And likewise with the chests, except the chests, instead of crit rate, crit damage, can also roll accuracy or resistance. Boots can do speed or a main stat percentage or a flat main stat. So I hope that makes sense. And just to clarify, when I'm saying flat main stat, you see this defense right here? Let me pull my stuff up so I can see what I'm doing. This defense right here, this is a flat number versus this HP right here is 8%. Now, those percentage stats will be a larger value, sometimes not larger in the early game, but definitely in the later game. You're going to gain a percentage of that. I said that weird. You're going to gain a percentage of that statistic and boost a percentage of it rather than just giving you a flat amount. That percentage amount will be higher because you're going to just be building so much and so much, and just it gets bigger, right? So, you'll notice that for champions that I actually care about, I am running percent main stats on the chest. That's common. And then for gloves, for nukers, damage dealers, you're traditionally going to run crit rate or crit damage. Now, I don't have my other accounts pulled up for this particular recording, but ideally, when you get further in the game, you're going to run crit damage gloves and then get the crit rate on the individual pieces that you want, as opposed to running crit rate gloves and getting crit damage from the individual pieces. Because crit damage gloves will be up to like 65%, I think. I don't have those memorized. I wish I could access my account, but the chance at the 6-star gear from this tournament is just a really good opportunity, and it's very, very early game, and I have built a legitimate arena team that can win more games than we lose. Now, speaking of arena, I am in silver 4 now, not quite gold 1, and gold 1 is a challenge. I'm not going to pretend that it's some easy cakewalk. With the champions that I have right now, I am gonna struggle to get into gold 1. And it's worth noting that Sun Wukong being a thing is a big challenge for me, because that is a hard, he is so good at PvP, more so than Ninja. He is a hard champion to kind of overcome in these early stages of the game. So what I'm kind of looking for when it comes to wins, I'm looking for teams that don't run speed. I'm looking for teams that I can go first against, because my champions are kind of slow. Let me see. I think, like, I'll try this team. I think I've lost it. I think this Gaelic is sneaky fast, and he's actually going to be faster than both of my nukers here, which is annoying. Oh, what? Okay, we got lucky. The other problem that I've had recently is that my Kale is, unfortunately, in a defense chest right now. Now, that's okay. His damage for bosses comes from poisons. He doesn't necessarily need to do attack percent damage, or attack damage based on his attack, rather. We just need him to have enough accuracy to land his abilities. But what I'm going to do, because I want them both, if possible, in lifesteal gear, to try and progress my clan boss as much as possible. And that's the other thing we're going to talk about here today. Real quick, I am going to level up this weapon, but I think if I do some moving of gear, and I'm not going to do it on camera, because I'm not using any, there are applications you can use out there, I use them regularly, that can make suggestions for gear to make sure you put the best gear on the best champion, and so on and so forth. I'm not going to be using any of that right now. And so it's going to take me a little bit longer than I would like for a singular video. But if that's something you would like to see, how I go about gearing champions, I know that has been requested by my clan members, and how I, maybe do it on my main versus my free-to-play versus the Ninja account. I'd be happy to make that video. Just let me know in the comments, and I will come out with a video like that. But I'm pretty confident that if I take this weapon, and then between that weapon and the gear that I have leveled, I should be able to, like, put this weapon here and use a different attack percent chest that I have on the account for, or was it for Kale? I talked about it on stream today. I was like, if I use this weapon, I think it was, if I use this weapon on Ninja, then I can take off the boots. Then I can put the boots on Kale, take this chest off, and put that speed chest back on. And then I think everything is back in order, and I just have to make sure the speeds of my Spirit Host and my War Maiden are still where I want them to be. And it's possible War Maiden may get upgraded boots because of this. So, check back for tomorrow's episode on that. And a quick reminder for you guys, I will not be here Wednesday and Thursday, so there will be no updates on the Ninja Block account, and I will also not be playing the account at all. I will be out of town. Yes, you can play the game on your phone. The account that is on my phone is my normal free-to-play account. I will probably keep that account on my phone. And since I'm only gone for one night, I'm not going to take my laptop because it makes my backpack heavy and then my shoulders hurt from walking through all the airports. So I'm not taking my laptop. I'm just taking a Switch and some small electronics. So, and my phone. So And yes, I could log into Ninja Block on this on my phone. I don't really want to do that. That's kind of the kicker, is that I don't want to log into it. I will be playing my main free-to-play account off the phone and not touching the Ninja Block account. Now, that's going to set me back a little bit, but we're under no time crunch. We're playing the long game here. I am trying to push as hard as I can right now, and I will be playing some on Wednesday off stream before I leave, hopefully completing all of my reset stuff. Then the Thursday reset should be the only reset that I miss, because I won't be here from Wednesday night to Thursday evening. I get in very late on Thursday, so I'll probably miss a lot during that time frame. What I might do, which sounds crazy, but there's no reason not to, I might I can't count on it to stay up the whole time, because it's entirely possible that my computer will restart during that. But I could use RSL Helper and just tell it to run something. Just say, hey, you know what? Just run with my passive energy gain. Just run Dragon, and maybe I get a whole bunch of gear over that time that I'm gone. I doubt that it's going to last. I doubt that it's going to work like that, but it's something I could try. Who knows? We'll see, right? But let's talk about Clan Boss now. I've had a couple of comments, and it made me realize that I haven't been bringing enough attention to Clan Boss. So the priority for any new account should be Clan Boss. 100%. So if until you get to at least Nightmare, and when I say get there, I mean that you are getting the max chest from Nightmare. Until you get to that point, I do not recommend focusing on other parts of the game. And there's a lot of benefits to doing Clan Boss. The best early game dungeon, in my opinion, is Dragon's Lair. The reason being, you have accuracy gear. Accuracy is highly important for landing your abilities against bosses. They have high resistance. Your accuracy needs to be high enough to land those abilities. Let me talk about another quick tool while I'm thinking about it. If in Google you just type in Raid Stages Tool, that's going to bring up Hell Hades' website, this Raid Stages tool, and then you can go to it and say, okay, Clan Boss, regular Clan Boss, what accuracy do I need for Nightmare? I need 175 accuracy to get past his 150 resistance. That's how this reads. And they explain it right here, saying what it is. So that is how you can use that tool to find out what accuracy you need. Well, what accuracy do I currently have? Oh yeah, 46 and 53. Guess what? I can't do Nightmare. These stats will go up. I'll get better gear. I'll get gear that gives me accuracy. I will get banners that give me accuracy. So my gear will improve, and therefore my stats will improve. But it's important to know what your limits are and what you need to achieve in order to do those dungeons and those difficulties. So that's a great tool to have early on. But Clan Boss is very, very similar to Dragon. And I know that I didn't go through the rest of Dragon's drops. We also have speed gear, which you want. But I'm guilty of it. I know you're going to be guilty of it if you're new. Prioritize speed. It's going to seem crazy, but you will get to a point where it's going to click and you're just going to say, man, I wish I was faster this whole time. My one rule of thumb for all new players, not new accounts, because some players are very experienced and understand what they can get away with, but new players to this game only run speed boots. I want to be clear, because I know I'm going to get heat in the comments. Well, you can do this, you can do that. There will be scenarios in the future of your game where you're going to use percent-based boots, meaning defense percent boots, attack percent boots, or HP percent boots. That time will not come anytime soon for a brand new account, number one. And number two, you really need to know what you're doing to make that work. If you're running those boots and you're rocking 130 speed, you're not going to do anything with that character. I promise you. Unless you know what you're doing and you have a whole bunch of turn meter fill and you have a whole bunch of ways to just speed that champion up or crowd control so you can run a slower champion. Or in the case of like an Ultimate Death Knight, I'm not going to go into his kit, but he's a very tanky champion. You could go in a direction where he was very, very slow in Stone Skin gear, which makes him very, very hard to kill and last many, many turns. So the priority for you guys right now, for new players, should be speed. Then there's lifesteal gear. This is so good early game. And the question that I don't think I ever asked myself and not enough people ask is, well, why is it only good early game? Well, because later on in the game, this set can be a set that does more for you. This can be a set that ignores defense. This can be a set that gives you more speed or accuracy or crit rate or crit damage or whatever. So lifesteal, though, in the early game, you don't have a healer. I don't have a healer unless you got very lucky on your Void Shard pulls or if you're going to pull, something soon and you get a Siphi or, a Pythion or some kind of healer, you're not going to have any way of keeping your champions alive. Lifesteal gear does that for you. And again, I mentioned last week that when you use lifesteal gear with War Master, which is the mastery, you're going to proc that War Master in lifesteal, and because you're dealing damage to something that has so much more HP than you, you're going to heal for big numbers. Probably heal yourself the full, right? So lifesteal gear is very, very good early on, and that's why I'm trying my best to get 2 sets of lifesteal gear on both of my damage dealers right now, because that can kind of give them more longevity in Clan Boss. Not enough to do a nightmare or anything like that, but enough to keep them going and get me higher levels of damage, and also get me higher levels of damage against bosses. Destroy gear is okay. There's one boss this is really good for. Toxic gear is really good against Clan Boss if you have somebody with like counterattacks or like an Eris for an unkillable team. Those are things we'll talk about far into the future. Don't really care about Frost or Daze or Avenging or Stalwart. Now, these are not bad sets. I want to be clear. Well, maybe you could make the argument for Frost and Daze are not great. But there's use case. I'm not a big fan of Avenging personally. There is a use case for Stalwart. It will make you more tanky against AoE attacks, which Clan Boss does 2 AoE attacks and then 1 single target. Dragon does all AoE hits. But this gear from Dragon is really good, and it's gear that you want early game. So for an early game account, Dragon is a great focus. Well, let's talk about Dragon's abilities. He has an AoE breath. Okay, interesting. And he has like an AoE stun. Okay, interesting. Well, what's really unique about the Dragon is that who else has a big AoE hit and then a stun? Clan Boss. So if you can beat Clan Boss, that same team that you're building to do good damage against Clan Boss can come into Dragon and do the same thing. The only difference between Dragon and Clan Boss is there's waves in the way. And what are waves? We refer to waves. Those are the 2 packs of enemies that you fight before you make it to the boss. Now, you may need to have different abilities or one champion variant that can deal with the waves while everyone else focuses the boss at the end. But for the most part, your focus, if you focus Clan Boss, you're going to develop in Dragon. And Dragon is going to give you the gear to succeed in the game. You'll get accuracy, you'll get speed, you'll get lifesteal. That's going to help you progress further in the game. So I highly recommend doing Clan Boss and focusing on Clan Boss as your primary thing. You might get to a point where you're stuck. You may have You may level your ninja, you level your kale, you have the best possible gear on them at the time on your account, and you've gone as high as you can go. That's okay. It's okay to say, all right, I've gone high as I can go there. Let's maybe focus on this epic that I have that's only good in this one other dungeon or something. That's okay. But keep in mind clan boss throughout the game so that your next shard pull, when you pull a new ally protect champion and you're like, oh, I don't have that for clan boss, let's build this guy if he's good. They're not all ally protectors are the same. But you might want to build someone for clan boss or build, so it's okay to kind of deviate, but always keep clan boss in the back of your mind because it is probably the most important area of the game. If you've missed any of my videos and don't know why clan boss is the important area of the game, right here, this is the best possible chest from Ultra Nightmare. It gives you sacred shards and legendary books, and likewise Nightmare, the best chest, gives you sacred shards and legendary books. So that's how I accumulate all my sacred shards. That's how I accumulate all my books. And there's some sleeper stuff in there too. On my free-to-play account, which I've been playing for less than a year, I actually never do the potion keeps anymore because I get all of the potions I need from Clan Boss. And yeah, I mean, that's pretty much it. That's really all I had to say there. I was thinking if there was anything else I had to add there. But you do get a lot of potions and a lot of brews as well. We haven't talked much about brews. These are very, very important for gaining points in a champion training event or champion training tournament. We'll have some of those coming up for the fusion. This account is far too new to pursue a fusion right now. But the fusion after that, I'm really going to push to try and get. I don't think I could get this current fusion, not with my current resources. Way too little silver. I think it's just going to be a very large task for me to overcome. So, not going to go for that fusion. I think it's too early. That's starting this Thursday. But we'll try to go for the next one if it's a champion that makes sense for us. Okay. We've talked about Arena. We've, for the tournament. The other tournaments, I'm not doing the Fire Knight Turn Attack. Usually you can cheese points pretty early from the really early stages, but the rewards here are not anything I'm super excited about. The other events, Fusion Warm-Up Event. These are very, very great value for an account. What you can do, a little quick, easy way to do this. Normally, these are based off of leveling gear, which I would just say, yeah, go ahead and level some gear. But this time they're doing it by summoning champions, but really easy thing. You can come in here and click this twice. You can summon 10 champions twice, which you want to be doing at least once a day. By the way, what I like to do with all the 1 stars that you get, you may be wondering, like, what are these good for, right? Look at what you have the most brews of. I have the most magic brews, so I grab a magic champion, 1 brew, and 3 other 1 stars, and that levels him to 10, and then I can upgrade his rank, and now he is a 2-star food. So whenever I have a 2-star that's ready to go, he will be the food to take that 2-star to a 3-star. So that's what I do, and I always summon, once a day, I summon 10 mystery shards. You'll notice if you watch carefully, I'm always opening this up and purchasing any mystery shards available. While I'm in this menu, very, very quickly, every month you get 5 ancient shards in the marketplace. So you want to look in here every time it refreshes, every hour. And what I've done is there was a ancient shard hidden down here that was locked. So I went through and I unlocked my way down to it. I will only unlock these whenever an ancient shard pops up in them, because they do cost silver and gems. Do not refresh. There's no benefit to refreshing this page. Just let it refresh every hour. You cannot get more than 5 ancients. Once you get your 5 ancients a month from the marketplace, they will no longer spawn. And I'm sure a lot of you say, which I used to, man, I never get ancient shards in the market. It's because once you grab, if you're playing the game a lot and you grab them all at the beginning of the month, then they're gone by the time you get to the end of the month. Does that make sense? So it feels like you don't ever get them, and that's because you got them all at the beginning of the month. Okay, what was I talking about? There's so much information, so many things I want to share with you guys. Mystery shards. So to complete this quest, summon 3 champions and then increase champions level in the tavern 3 times. I did that by doing exactly what I just showed you. I need to make one more room. Do I have... Maybe I spend a little bit of silver here. That's a lot of silver. I'm not thrilled to spend that, but we're going to do it eventually, and I'm going to make silver back. And this is the other great thing about pulling the mystery shards, is that you have a chance to get rares. Now, I'm not super thrilled about this particular rare, if I'm honest. She does have an AoE decreased speed, but it's on a very low % chance. Is Raider a part of a fusion, though? I think she is. Yes! Okay. She is part of the Razin fusion, so she's going to get put aside. And that's really good to pull her this early, because she's not farmable. So to get her this early is very good for me, long term, in possibly fusing Razin. Now, we'll talk about Razin in another video. Remind me to talk about that, because I have my opinions on Razin, and I honestly don't think you should fuse him. But that we can talk about that another time. What I was saying, though, is that doing what I did by pulling those 10 shards and then coming in here and leveling up a champion in the tavern will give you both of those quests completed, as well as another quest that I can't show you right now because I've already completed it. Which is to summon like a bunch of champions. I think it's 25 champions per 5 days, I think. So this just gets you more than enough, and you will still acquire mystery shards at such a substantial rate that you'll be able to... You'll gain more mystery shards than you'll be spending if you spend 10 a day. I promise you. You gain mystery shards all the time. You don't even notice it half the time, especially when you're campaign farming. You'll be getting a lot of mystery shards. So don't be afraid to do that. Now, right now, what it's doing for me is this Fusion Warm-Up event. It just got me some free resources. Absolutely free resources. All it took was 2 runs of 10. And then I do that 2 more times. I'll get an Ancient Shard. Unfortunately, I don't know that I'm going to be able to do this, because I might actually miss the Ancient Shard while I'm gone. That's going to be less than ideal. Maybe I'm going to have to log in on my phone after all. But yeah, it's a free Ancient Shard here. There's no reason not to go for this stuff. We got gems, we got energy, XP boosts that we haven't really talked. I did talk about that. So, we are way over on video. I try to keep these around 30 minutes, so we've definitely gone long here, but a lot of valuable information, I feel like. Also, for those of you that didn't go Kale as your starter, this Outlaw Monk is a really good option for you. He places 2 5% poisons on his A2, and his A1 has a chance of getting an extra turn. This is really good. A 3-turn, 2 poisons. You can get a lot of damage out of this guy on Clan Boss, because poisons do a lot of damage since he has such high HP. So if you do pull those, keep an eye on them. What I really like to do is level them up to 50 and then use them as food. Since I have Kale, it's less important. And since I got Ninja so early, it's also less important. I'm kind of happy just focusing on my ninja and my kale right now. Hopefully, I'll pull a reasonable rare sometime soon, but more than likely, I'll end up getting an epic. I really don't want to level rares anymore. There are really good rares, and I know you guys are going to blow me up on the comments and say, what about Reliquary Tender or what Reliquary Tender I would level, Cold Heart I would level, Apothecary I've had so many accounts. I have leveled him on every one of those accounts, and I have always regretted it. Because I swear to you, now maybe that's why I get so lucky and pull champions, because I level up Apothecary. But I swear, every time I level up Apothecary, I pull an epic or a legendary, and it's like, man, I wish I could have leveled them instead. One rare that I would be willing to consider is Coffin Smasher. Coffin Smasher has the big version of decreased attack on the A1, and he reduces AoE attacks by 5%, which can get you a little bit more longevity in Clan Boss, which is really, really handy to have. I love Coffin Smasher early game. He's also an HP-based champion, so he's very easy to build and keep alive. Really big fan of Coffin Smasher. And there are some other rare void rares that will give you really good value, like Painkeeper or Paragon or Cold Heart. So if you do happen to pull some of those, they might be something worth potentially leveling. But for the most part, Paragons and Painkeepers can do their job at level 50, maybe even lower. Cold Heart is definitely someone I would 6-star and use as a really, really good boss killer on my account. And like I said, if I was to get him, I would take a Coffin Smasher to 60, unless while leveling him, I just got somebody better. But Coffin Smasher, I think, is pretty good early game. I know a lot of people love Frozen Banshee, but again, I feel like I'm in the same boat when it comes to Frozen Banshee, that anytime I build her, I just end up getting somebody better. I leveled up Frozen Banshee on my free-to-play, and I never put a single piece of gear. She's level 60, fully ascended, fully booked. I've never put any gear on her, because I just couldn't fit her in my existing teams. I had better damage dealers than what she could put out. So, the game has changed. And for those of you that have been playing for a very long time, you get so many more epics now than you did back in the day, because you get so many more ancient shards than I feel like you did back in the day. So I would rather wait for a good epic than put resources into a rare and that ends up in the vault 2 weeks after I level them. But there are good rares. I'm not saying there are not good rares. There are good rares. And who knows, maybe your luck is bad, or maybe you don't save your shards and you pull them during bad times and you don't get any epics to work on. Then yeah, go for some rares. You may have to. You may not have a choice. But there are some good rares out there that especially can be strong for certain bosses and content. I love how I said I was going to end this video, and then I ranted on for another 15 minutes. So I'm very sorry about that, guys. We're going to call an end to the video here. Tomorrow, I will have an update about the rebuild on the champions. I'll use up all of this energy and hopefully complete all of these missions all the way through the Void Keep here. I don't have any more keep missions after that. So then I can just continue to progress and hopefully get to a reasonable spot. I would love to be able to get up through this Justicar fusion and then get this Sacred Shard here. I think that would be really good before I go away on vacation. I would really like to do that. Well, sorry, it's not a vacation, but before I go away for a couple of days. So 4 champions. This is going to be a tough one here. 4 champions to level 50. That's the other thing, too. I don't want a 6-star Kale until I get this done. And so, and I'm going to have to ascend one of those food as well. That's important to note, too. So, all right, guys. Thank you so much for watching. I hope you enjoyed my content. If you like this content, if you're new here, which I know a lot of you are, please consider subscribing. It's the best way to find out when these videos drop. But more importantly, it's the best, well, more importantly for me, it's the best way to support my channel and help me get more eyeballs onto this content. I really try to be helpful, and I try to explain things in a way that will help all new players. And, you know, oftentimes when I was watching content, I would see stuff and people would put videos up and they would say things and I'd be like, what does that mean? I don't, what he said, attack percent chest. What's that? What's a attack percent chest? I have an attack chest and it'd be a flat attack chest, right? So I try to explain it in enough detail to cover everything that you guys may or may not know. So the best way for me to get that message out there is with your support. And again, streaming tomorrow, 9:30 Eastern time. You can ask me questions live. I cannot always answer all of your questions. The best place to do that is Discord, which is linked in the description of this video. Whew, been talking a while. Thanks for watching, guys. Appreciate everything that you guys are doing, and I look forward to seeing you all in the next video. Take care.